Have you ever walked away from a difficult conversation and suddenly thought of everything you should have said? There is actually a reason that happens. We loved Jennifer Prendergast's explanation of the flipped lid so much that we wanted to revisit it and give it a little more space in the Summer Friday bonus. In this deep dive, Jennifer explains what happens in our brains when stress takes over, why we can temporarily lose access to logic, communication, and decision making, and how to understand the flipped lid can really help us respond to workplace behavior with less judgment and greater awareness. You can follow along with Jennifer's hand model as you listen because this simple explanation may completely change how you understand conflict.
Hi, I'm Claude.
And I'm Jess.
We are corporate employees by day, entrepreneurs by night, and work besties for life.
Join us as we explore how work besties lift each other up, laugh through the chaos, and thrive together in every industry.
Work besties!
So how you say that we see ourselves, how does the nervous system awareness help us understand behavior at work differently?
So if we can get a little bit interactive for a second, and this is something that your listeners can certainly do
love
along with
that.
us.
I love life, real life example.
Awesome. So we are going to do a little example together, and this is we're gonna build what's called the hand model of the brain, and this is something that we teach in every single training that we do with every single group. We do it with kids, we do it with grown-ups, we do it with executives, because it really helps to land this concept and what we're talking about. So if it is accessible to you, pull out a hand and build this model of the brain with me. So our wrist is going to be our brainstem. And this is sort of right at the back of our head. This is where we kind of connect into our neck connects to our skull there. We're going to fold our thumb over the inside of our palm. And our thumb, like we're making a number 4, is going to represent our limbic system. And our limbic system is the really, really old part of our brain. This is where all of our emotions live and memory. This is where our fight or flight responses come from. We've heard those words before. So this is that really old part of our brain. And then we're going to fold our fingers down over top, making a little brain on the end of our hand here. And these fingers represent our prefrontal cortex. And this is the big part of our brains that we have as humans, where all of our executive functions live. So this is where we have communication and logic and listening and decision making and spirituality and motivation and all the things that we need and that we want to be bringing into the workplace. And what happens is when we get triggered, and triggered is not a bad word. It simply means something has happened that's going to send us into a different place. Yeah. What happens is our fingers pop up, boom, and we are now operating. We lose access to all of that stuff that happens in our prefrontal cortex. And we have language for this, right? We will say, wow, they flew off the handle. They flipped their lid. They popped off. This language, we know what those things mean when we say them. And so when we are operating from a place with a flipped lid, we are now operating out of memory, past experiences, right? And the patterns that we use to survive and navigate those, and from emotion. So this is where we're going to start seeing emotions in the workplace. We're going to see behaviors manifesting out of this that might look like micromanaging, gossiping, bullying, passive aggressiveness, checking out, taking constant breaks, people pleasing, overcommitting to work, not getting things done. So when we are able to do this work and show up and ourselves and support other people in coming to work with our whole brains put together, this is where all of that training stuff lives. This is where the roadmaps live and the acronyms and the processes and the scripts and the checklists and all of these things that we learn how to run a good meeting, how to have a good feedback conversation, how to do coaching with a team member. All of that lives in here. So when that is missing for us, or when it's missing for the other person, and now we're both coming in to the conversation with our lids flipped, we don't have access to all of that great training that we've done. And so by bringing in more training, more stuff like that without having this understanding underneath it, it can actually create a lot of shame in folks, right? If we go to training and it's like, well, have the conversation. Here's your 3-step process to, name something. When we then come out with our sweaty palms and our red face and our beating heart, and it's like, why can't I just do that? What's wrong with me? And this is the question that we hear all the time, right? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just do the stuff that I've been trained to do? And so when we can understand this operating system, nervous system layer that lays underneath it, it allows us to shift that frame a little bit so that we can look at our own behavior or others with less judgment, with feeling, we feel less shame ourselves as to why can't I do this stuff? That's why, because that stuff lives here. And when we are like this, we simply don't have access to it. That's why we always think of the right thing to say when the conversation's over, right? We have a conversation with someone and
Oh, yeah,
falling back down,
exactly.
right?
For
No.
sure.
That's
because
totally
we weren't
true.
in a place to have access to that in the moment. So
Right.
Yeah.
And then
this
you were
is how
after. Right.
this is how this nervous system awareness piece impacts the training that we've already done and helps us to understand sometimes now why change is not coming, right? Why two people are stuck in a loop. Because if I'm coming in to talk to you like flipped lid and you're coming in to talk to me with a flipped lid, and I know that every time I get frustrated, you're going to get frustrated. So I'm going to get more. We wind up in these loops. These patterned loops from that limbic system flipped lid place.
We hope this deep dive helped you better understand what happens when we flip our lids and why safety and connection at work matter so much. To hear even more from Jennifer Prendergast, listen to episode 105, Safety Equals Connection, wherever you get your podcasts. If you found this Summer Friday bonus helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. We would also love your feedback, including what other topics you'd like us to explore in future bonus episodes. Thanks for listening, and remember, work besties, keep supporting each other. Remember, whether you're swapping snacks in the break room, rescuing each other from endless meetings, or just sending that perfectly timed meme, having a work bestie is like having your own personal hype squad.
So keep lifting each other up, laughing through the chaos, and of course, thriving. Until next time, stay positive, stay productive, and don't forget to keep supporting each other.